I'm from West Virginia, and I'm going to give you a little Southern love. I graduated from Columbia College. My husband graduated from the Citadel. So we've got some roots in common there. Thank you for being here today. You know, after 4 years of inflation and unmonitored spending and non-existent trade negotiations under the previous administration, I'm thrilled to have you and President Trump back at the helm to deliver on America First policies. Having businessmen rather than career politicians running the country is already making a huge difference. Ways and Means Republicans have spent the better part of 2 years gearing up to reauthorize the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and put more pro-working class tax policies in place. This committee passed the most significant tax bill in modern history last month, and the House followed suit. It is now time for the Senate to do their job and get this big, beautiful bill to the President's desk. I want to talk about 1099-K. One of my top priorities in the tax package is to repeal the Democrats' absurd 1099-K threshold. Under the Biden administration, Democrats changed the time-tested standard of $20,000 in 200 transactions to $600 when determining whether a taxpayer receives a 1099-K or not. Before this committee, your predecessor acknowledged that this new threshold would be difficult to administer and to lead to the taxpayers' confusion. So instead of working with us to fix it, the Biden Treasury unconstitutionally delayed implementation and then changed the threshold to try and ease the taxpayers' confusion in the election year. Unfortunately, there are still millions more 1099-K forms that were sent out, and Republicans have worked to restore the 1099-K threshold to the time-tested standard of $20,000 in 200 transactions by including my Saving Gig Economy Taxpayer Act in the One Big Beautiful Bill. Can you shed some light on how this policy and others being produced from your department will make life easier for our taxpayers?
Representative, thank you for discussing these very important issues. As I said, I believe the underappreciated part of President Trump's economic plan is the deregulation. And what you were describing, the cutting back on paperwork, that putting thresholds at proper level is indeed deregulation, lower paperwork. And I think you correctly pointed out that the previous administration, I'm not sure that anyone ever signed the front of a paycheck or the back of a paycheck. I think they mostly received direct deposit from the U.S. government because they're always government employees. So if you have never made payroll, if you are not processing paperwork, you don't understand the costs that are inherent in this. If you are a small business person, if you are someone with a lawn care business, if you are someone, as you said, we have a completely new economy today with the gig economy. Whether it is Uber drivers, delivery people, the contract workers who work from home, in programming fields. So I think that it was tone deaf, completely tone deaf, for the nature of the new economy.
You are so right. And I also want to voice my support for the ongoing trade negotiations that the President and you are working on. For too long, our trusted trade partners have quietly taken advantage of the United States. And I'm a firm believer that trade truly is the great equalizer and a powerful tool to bring the world together. However, sometimes the tool can be used effectively and not always with fairness. I'm particularly interested in the domestic steel industry. From West Virginia, we've been producing quality steel for decades, and some in my hometown in Huntington and my district is currently ramping up more steel production even further with new mills in Mason County. So I'm supportive of the Section 232 tariffs on steel that the President has pursued, and I'm eager to work together with the administration to ensure that a level playing field is also applied to the U.S.-UK economic prosperity deal. The UK has a history of subsidizing its steel industry, which in turn often undercuts our domestic steel producers. Can you commit to continuing working on securing fairness for our domestic steel industry across trade deals?
Representative Miller, I had the privilege of being with the president at the U.S. Steel factory in Pittsburgh a week ago Friday. And I can tell you that the president's commitment to the U.S. steel industry is unwavering, that we are bringing back domestic production, and what we have seen, and one of the previous questions about is China a reliable partner, what we have seen during COVID since then is that there are strategic industries in the United States where we must have an industrial base. And I would put steel in the top 3.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you. The committee will stand in recess for exactly 10 minutes.